Okay, this is a little follow-up to the first video that I did regarding the lithium batteries. What we've got here, another Ferrari F1, excuse the state of my garage. This customer's car. Now this one has got the Toyota 1.6 AGE engine, little 16 valve 1.6, ordinary car engine, and you can see there the normal battery it runs on is an 063, and I only did this really pretty much as a joke. I didn't really think it would work, but I've put on it's our part number LIP004, which is the smallest in the lithium battery range. You can see that hasn't got the original battery attached at all. That's just clamped up. That is the earth side before anybody tells me I'm about to set fire to it. Little battery is just clamped in place. 4.5 meters of battery lead running all the way down to the back there where the engine is, and I think you'll be quite shocked at this. Yep, that engine is running quite happily. On a battery that it really wasn't quite intended for. Now I'm just going to disconnect the coil HT lead and then give it a little crank. Now obviously that battery is going to die fairly quickly, but just a demonstration really of what they are capable of. Okay, still the same battery, hitched up in the same way. Just going to give it a crank now. The coil lead's disconnected so she won't start, and let's just see how long it'll last. Okay, well, you're not going to get half a minute cranking out of it, but considering that battery is supposed to have a max cranking current available of around 70 amps, this is a fairly cold November day, about 10 degrees I would say. The garage isn't heated, and that engine hasn't been started and run for more than about 5 seconds when we started it with this little battery first. Pretty massively impressive. Still the same battery. I've reconnected the coil lead. I'm just going to give it a try and see if I can trick it into starting. And there you go. So that's a battery that's already been flattened, and few seconds recovery time, literally the time it's taken me to reconnect the coil HT lead, and that started up perfectly. So this is the battery that we've been using. I've just weighed it. It weighs 430 grams. Now obviously if you're running it on a race car or something like that, I wouldn't suggest it being used as the main starter battery, but if you're using a power pack to start the car, there's no reason why you couldn't run these to keep the car running. Probably not going to give you a restart out on circuit though, so probably better to go for a bigger one, but certainly feasible, depending on how much weight is important to you and how much reliability is important to you. Right, being a little bit more realistic in terms of capacity now, this is our LIP009A. Battery that fits lots of the mid-range bikes, things like Honda Fireblade in the 90s, CBR 900 and Yamaha 600s, that sort of thing, and I'm quite sure this will start the car without a problem. But let's just see what it will do on a cranking check. So I've disconnected the coil lead now, so she won't start, and let's try it and see what we've got. I'm only going to give it 10-second bursts and let the starter and battery recover a little bit. That was a full set 10 seconds cranking. It sounded like it was starting to run down a little bit, but let's just see what we've got now. Okay, that's now had a full 20 seconds cranking. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds to recover. Noticeable that even in the very brief time that the engine wasn't cranking, probably less than 20 seconds recovery I gave it, when I first cranked it, the engine was spinning over quickly again, indicating that we'd got a lot more cranking amps available there. So let's give it another try now. Okay, that's getting fairly tired at that, but what I'm going to do now is just reconnect the coil lead, and I'm 99% confident that's going to restart. Okay, coil lead is now back on, and let's give it a try. Running sweet as a nut, and charging that battery, which I'm quite sure now would probably give you another 10 seconds cranking, but I'm not going to bother to try and prove that out. On second thoughts, blow it. I've disconnected the coil lead. It's still connected. You can see that's the same battery. It hasn't moved. It's still in the same position. And let's give it another try. See if we've got another 10 seconds cranking left in it. Okay, obviously it has. I would point out with any of the batteries that I've demonstrated, I haven't charged these first. This is exactly as they've come to me. Probably had them in stock for a couple of weeks or so, been sitting on our shelves, and I've no doubt that if you had charged them, I mean, it was noticeable that spun over a lot more quickly, having had the engine fired up and had that brief bit of charge back in it. You know, if they had been charged, you would actually have seen better results again. So all in all, a very impressive product. So there you go, that's the 009B, comes in at around £104. Sounds like a bargain to me. Just for interest's sake, I'll pop the little 004 back on there again. That's been on charge for about 5 minutes whilst I've been demonstrating the larger battery. Might have been as much as 10 minutes, but I think you'll find quite a dramatic difference. Obviously you've got the coil lead disconnected at the moment, but you know, 5 minutes charge, and we're pretty much back to where we were with it in the first place. I'd like to see you do that with a lead acid. This 004 battery is the baby of the range, the one that I've been just playing with on the car. I think that would make an absolutely great battery for a go-kart, you know, or small motorcycle, anything of that nature. I'm sure if it will start a 1600cc car engine, it's not going to struggle too much with your 50cc moped or something like a Rotax 125 kart. As I say, just over 400 grams, so bit of a massive weight saving there for you. Okay, moving right up the range now. This isn't quite the flagship, but this is the LIP 014B, just one down from the top of the range. And I think we'd just like to see if it'll give us a comfortable 30 seconds of cranking. Obviously need to break that up. That's the first 10. Just give it a little while to recover. Okay, and second go. I'm going to give it a few seconds just for a bit of recovery, let it start to cool down and so on. to note that each time you leave it, when it first cranks, it actually cranks more quickly. Okay, I think there's still plenty of guts in that. I think it would probably favour it to leave it for a little while longer in between cranking periods, but I'm obviously the coil lead's still disconnected. I'll just give it another quick flick just to sort of demonstrate that I'm sure it will spin it quickly, just for a few seconds. Again, it's straight back up there. As soon as you pop the coil lead on, it's obviously going to run. I'll just do that. Okay, coil lead back on, and away we go. I mean, the other beauty of these is that with just a few seconds of the engine running at any sort of reasonable speed, that battery is going to be charged back up virtually to full capacity. They charge very, very quickly. And they take the larger batteries take currents in sort of 30 to 40 amps. If you've got the alternator, that'll do that, and absolutely no harm to the battery in doing that. So that's probably a little bit more sensible in terms of what we actually ought to be running on a vehicle like this. You know, obviously with the little batteries, I've taken the batteries way outside of their comfort zones, and I'm certainly not suggesting that you should take the smallest one in the range and then be ringing me up saying, why won't it start my Dodge Viper? But if you have any queries regarding what battery is suitable for what, by all means give me a ring. The number's on the website, and you'll find all the batteries at ferrariproducts.co.uk. Prices range from about £60 upwards, and the biggest battery, the one above this, that's the 20 amp hour replacement, comes in at £209.99. And I think that would run pretty well anything. What you do have to remember is that when they have very high current draw capabilities. Obviously, if you want to put it on your ordinary tin top, park up with a girlfriend, listen to the radio for a few hours, play with your electric windows, stick the heated seats, the heated mirrors, and a few other bits and pieces on, then it's probably not going to play ball, but then that's not what they're intended for. Lightweight, high cranking power, and rapid recharge is where they make all their gains. Thanks for listening. So, to sum up, you've got a range of lithium batteries available from us. You'll find us ferrariproducts.co.uk. Batteries range from just under £60 to just under 210, with cold cranking amps ranging from around 70 all the way up to about 380. You'll find lots of other stuff that we do on there as well. There's all digital dashes and projector headlights and so on. So come and give us a visit, and by all means let me know what you think. Thank you for listening.